Hi there, this is Carol Matthews, and I would like to share more of my frequently asked questions. You can just imagine, with me being like this all of my life, how many people have asked me so many different things. So I have some here that I'm going to share with you, and there will be more. There's going to be more.
Welcome to the Carol Matthews Intuitive Medium Podcast. Now, here's Carol.
So here's one of them. I have lost both my mother and father in the last year and found your talk on the show very comforting. Why is it that sometimes I feel my mother very strong around me and at other times only my dad? Why not both together? Well, what I'm going to tell you is just what I have learned from my own personal life. Carol, not the medium, but Carol, and also from my clients. Now, quite often I will have a woman that is coming to see me, and she may be going through some marriage problems or some feminine stuff, like feminine feelings that she really needs help with. Her mother comes through. Okay. And her mother will give her advice through me. We talk, right? So her mother will give her advice. Now, I could have a woman come to me and she is going to be opening up her own business or doing something out in the business world. Her father comes through. Now, what I have found through experience, and it's not about like women are not to be in business or anything like that, and it's a male thing. It's not. It's just that the men seem to go more, of course, the men go more towards the business, and the women, which would be mother, mother goes more towards the personal issues. And actually, sometimes I will have the mother will come through and she will start to talk, and then the father will come through. All right. But not often. And I may see somebody, in January and she's going through some issues and the mother comes through. And I may see her again in a year. And of course, I never remember what I tell people. And guess what? Her father comes through. So there's all different instances. So, and you will feel, sometimes you'll feel stronger. Just when you feel one stronger than the other, think about what you are going through. And then you'll get it. You will really, really get it. Okay, then here's another one. I am always seeing flashing bits of lights when I'm reading a book or just sitting in a room. The other night, one came and almost hit me in the face. It was that close. What is this? My imagination or my guides? I don't believe it's your imagination because anything that I talk about has happened to me. Okay, so I believe that it's not your imagination. So, quite often we're busy, and I call that life 101, and we don't pay attention to the signs. Sometimes our guardian angels will leave us a dime. We walk past that dime. Or they will put a different bird on the hood of our car. We don't pay any attention to that. So they're going to get your attention when you are just sitting quietly. And I call those little lights, I call them firefly lights because that's what they do. They click on, okay? They click on and click off. And I see them in my own personal life, and I will share about that in just a moment. But you'll notice them. Even in the daylight, you will notice them. Now, some people call them orbs, but I prefer to call them firefly lights. And just a little personal question. My fourth sister, Marion, I call her Coop. She used to be here at the apartment, and I would be sitting in my bedroom, and I'd be doing my makeup on my bed. It's just what I do. And Coop would come down the hall, and she'd come into my place, and I'd have a coffee, she'd have a cup of tea, and she'd be sitting there watching me do my makeup. And we'd be joking and stuff like that. And she'd say, how do you do that? We had great times. Well, more than once since she's passed away, when I am sitting on my bed doing my makeup, I don't even have to look up. I'm not even thinking. And all of a sudden, boom, there's this little white light. So what do? I just say, hi, sis. And I just feel good. I find it's very, very comforting, but it just brings back those moments. So pay attention, okay? Pay attention. And I always say, and I'm going to continue to say it, think about what you were just thinking about before you see these little lights, okay? Alrighty. Now, my son, here's another one. My son quite often tells me that he sees my passed on father, his grandfather, in his room at imagine 3 a.m. in the morning. And this lady says, I heard your theory on that. Why does my daughter not see him? She's quite concerned about this. Can you help? Yes, I can, because I've seen this happen in my own personal life. Sometimes we have to, if I were talking to your daughter, I'm talking to the lady that sent me this letter or this thing, okay? So run with me here. if I were talking to the daughter, I would say, okay, before you go to bed at night, you thank your grandfather for coming to let you know that he's okay. All right. Don't ask. I don't believe in asking. I believe in thanking, acting as if it's already there. So, this is what I would say to your daughter. And I'm saying this to everybody. All right. Just thank them. And then, because, sometimes people say to me, well, like my guardian, my mom and dad, they're not coming around me. And I say, well, have you ever told them that you don't want them to? Well, my client, the odd one, will say, well, I have said it would be scary. I said, okay, fine. So now when you go to bed at night, you just sit up in bed for a few minutes and you just say, I thank you, and whoever it is, for letting me know that you're all right. And you will notice. You may not notice right away. You may not, but it'll happen. So yes. Alrighty. Okay. Here's another one. Quite often, out of the blue, I will have a deja vu of something my passed on mother and I did over 20 years ago, a fun occasion or a sad one. Is this my recall, or is it my mother putting this in my mind to let me know that she is around me? Well, that brings to mind a client that I had in Toronto, and she and her daughter used to always go down to I think it was the Boulevard Club, right on the lakeshore, right on the water. And they used to go there, and they used to walk along the boardwalk there and talk and everything. So this lady was telling me, she said one day her daughter had passed away, and one day she said that she was driving. She wasn't really thinking about anything. She was in traffic. Okay, you get that. And all of a sudden, she heard in her head, remember when we used to walk? And she looked over and there was a Boulevard Club. And she thought, okay, am I thinking this? And I said to her, no, your guardian angel, your daughter is putting that into your mind. So quite often we will have these little messages or these little, I call them deja vus also. And I will be just doing something in my own life, not as a medium, Carol. And I know it does blend, and I will think, oh, I remember doing that. And then all of a sudden, oh, I wasn't really thinking that. I believe it's our guardian angels that are giving these little nudges to us. Because remember, again, life 101 can get in the way. So anyway, I really like that one because it's true. So just think, and just think, oh yeah, okay, there's a possibility. Alrighty. Here's another one. Oh, okay. Now this is sort of a repeat, but how can I talk to my parents to let them know it's okay for them to show themselves to me, and how will they do this? You have said that they won't scare us. How do they know not to? Well, the very first thing is, this kind of goes into the other question about the little girl not seeing her grandfather. First of all, they're not going to scare you. They didn't scare you in life. So why would they scare you now? So again, sit down very quietly. I have a podcast on here about how to contact your guardian angels. So I suggested you look that one up. All right. And I feel like I'm talking to the person that sent me these questions. It's kind of cool. Anyway, just sit down quietly. Go to my other podcast, How to Contact Your Guardian Angels. And it's not something that you do like when you're rushing home from work and you think, oh, I'm going to sit down and do this now. No, it's not going to work. You have to take the time. And if you don't get anything right away, don't worry. Keep trying. Don't try, just go with it. Okay. It will happen. All right. It definitely will happen. And you can contact me. You can go and have a long hot bath and sit quiet, but not when you're in a rush. This is a very important thing. So to me, it's very important to know. So you have to kind of set the scene. So here's another one. Sometimes when I'm feeling upset, a warm, calming feeling comes over me, and I can smell the aftershave that my father used to wear. Could this be him making me know that he is with me? Oh, yes. In my own personal life, I have had this happen. And I have a client, and whenever I mention this, I always have permission from the client to mention. I never say names. But this lady came to see me, and her husband had passed on. And this is the way that the story went. She was a nurse, and she would come home about 3:00 in the morning, after her shift. Now, before her husband, one of her husband's loves was toasted rye bread. And that has a very different aroma to it. So every once in a while, when this lady came home from work at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, she would walk in the house and she could smell rye bread toasting. Or you know what I mean? So, so they do. They let us know that they are around in a way that we can identify, that we can relate to. I think that's a better way to put it. Something that we can relate to. So rye bread, a perfume, like a grandmother could have been Lily of the Valley or that ever wonderful Taboo. Things like that, like things that I remember I was with somebody and his mother really loved making tea, and she had a whistling teapot, and we were sitting, and all of a sudden the teapot started to whistle and nobody turned it on. So I believe so many of these things that I share with you are things that I have seen in my own personal life. So I have many more frequently asked questions, and I am going to be putting them on here for you. So if you have any questions, get in touch with me. Send me an email, coasttocoastmedium@gmail.com. I will answer them. I will definitely answer them. And you can also go to my website, carolmatthewsintuitive.com. So I'm going to close with this now, and I will be giving you more. Take care.
Thanks for listening. To book a personal consultation with Carol, email her at coasttocoastmedium@gmail.com. Remember to like and subscribe for future episodes.